first, Mom took a deep breath.
Yes.
Why did Mom take a deep breath?
Is it too late? I mean, they're already in middle school. Have we already missed the ball?
That's a great question.
I mean,
is it too late?
We've
No.
established some very, weak skills here.
It's a great question. Is it too late because they're in middle school? The answer is absolutely not. In fact, it's at this time and in high school when it's most important for parents to engage their children. So the first thing we have to do is we have to rework our schedules. We really do. Because in doing an audit of your time, what I found is that there's a lot of wasted time. We know that they all want to go to fine colleges and do very well in those schools. And we want to make sure that they're able to compete with those other students out there all over the world who are far more disciplined in their time. So what's going to be different about our schedule?
I'm going to wake up earlier.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Right?
They're not waking up.
Okay.
They're just up.
Even more. So they don't go to bed.
Right.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and your 14 and 12-year-old are up.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the concerns, next, we're going to talk about studying.
Well, I mean,
Mom,
if it's going to interfere with other things.
Like what? What else do you have to do?
I don't know.
You're 12, right?
I'm giving a hypothetical example here.
Well, but you're 12.
Yeah,
Well, what else do you have to do?
Sports.
Are more important than getting the best grade you can? So that's the second thing we're going to talk about is choice. Sometimes the most well-intended parents give children choices. David, the library is not your place to study.
Yeah.
So really, a choice needs to be revisited for you. Okay, so now here's the big one. This is the biggest one of all. Follow through. So we can come with the best plan in the world. No matter what it is, we can come up with the best plan in the world, but it doesn't work if we don't follow through. When do you think the best time to do homework is?
I think it's best to do homework as soon as you get home from school, because then you remember what your assignments are, and you can just whiz through it real quick and have the rest of the night to yourself.
We have agendas, so we write our assignments down every night, or we're supposed to.
Right.
Remember them.
But we just usually, I think the best time is right after dinner when we go to the library and do our work there.
But what about what Nathan just said? You remember more information when you return from school than you will 3, 4, 5 hours later.
But when you return from school, you've had a long day, you're hungry, you want to relax.
You can't eat and write?
Well, then you get to go on the paper and then it looks messy.
This is interesting from you, David. Mess. It concerns you. Now we're concerned about making a mess. I saw the grenade that exploded in your room. So maybe we're not really concerned about mess.
Well,
Maybe what we want to do is what we want to do.
I've been trying, kind of.
When you make the decision that you are going to stick to your guns because you know what's best for your children, then and only then will they fall in line. Is as a principal, the parents who I see who get the most out of their children are the ones who are consistent. They have a structure in place. They monitor the structure, and they follow through. And that's all this is.
Yep, that's basically right.
In terms of schedule, what can we expect from you, Nathan?
Because I'm getting older, less free time after school, just run around and do stuff and just crack down homework, you know.
Yeah, probably me too. Less time to go do other stuff, more time for homework.
Maybe we just needed somebody else to step in and actually have them say that. I thought I was the only one, and I thought all my ideas were just solo. So, yeah, it's amazing to have it coming from them, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all been holding back.
So it's a good thing, right? What I want you to understand is that I understand that each one of you are different. Different in your own ways. Even though you're twins, even though you're all brothers and sisters, even though you're both boys, and you two, whatever that is, you're still different. And what we're looking to do is to establish strategies to play up what makes you different and what makes you beautiful so that you can become even more successful as students.
All right. And our education contributor, Steve Perry, did not overstay his welcome at the house. He joins us now from Hartford, Connecticut. Steve, good to see you as always. The thing that jumped out, you talked about choices in there. Since when did kids start having choices? I didn't.
I thought you liked that, TJ.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that parents are faced with, and these are parents, first of all, I want to make sure that we understand that these are good, really solid parents.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes that parents make is they give children all the choice in the world. And that doesn't allow children to make the best choices. What we need to do is take a lot of choices off the table and tell them, among the two choices, this is what you're going to do. So that they get a better understanding of that. And these kids were making a lot of bad choices. They're making choices like kids, man.
Well, how does discipline play into this? You talked about it being too late. You said it wasn't. But you start that as a young child. You get them in line. You listen to your mama. Hey, who has the option to sleep in? My mom's leaving. Bus is in 5 minutes. I would have got smacked upside the head. That's a disciplinary issue.
Well, you know, actually that day, David, the youngest, had missed his bus.
Man.
And Nathan, the oldest, had forgotten his homework assignment at home. So Dad, this is what happened. Dad was headed out of the house, gets out the house. Nathan missed his assignment, goes back out to school, gets to work, finds out that David has been left home. Now he's going to go back. That's the problem. She left us behind home. He should have let him suffer the consequences of his bad decision and then deal with him when he gets home. Make sure that child understands that there are consequences and repercussions for bad decisions. These are very nice parents. Sometimes parents spend too much time trying to be the friends of their children and not wanting to make their children unhappy, not understanding that part of their job as a parent is to say no.
But
and to be the judge and jury.
But how difficult is that, if not impossible, to try to turn it around now as the kids are teenagers and older, when they've been used to this type of behavior from their parents for years and years? And what now, Mom? You want to flip it up on me?
No, not impossible at all. In fact, this is the best time, because this is a time in which the children understand, and you can set very clear boundaries. It's much more difficult to set some of those hard boundaries when they're little for some parents. Here, these parents have a better understanding of what their children want. Here's what's really important, TJ, is that the kids actually know what they're supposed to do. It's just that the parents don't give them the opportunity to do it. And what I mean by that is the parents are not holding the kids' feet to the fire. The kids actually want that. Kids want the parents to hold their feet to the fire. They want adults to hold their feet to the fire. And when parents and adults don't, kids become very, very agitated. And that's what was happening here. In fact, many of the children there were saying that.
How did it go? How do you compare the family we see today with the family, the Taylors? We saw that piece, I believe, yesterday from you, the Taylor family. It was funny. The kid came home and he said his room just got messy on his own. Do you see similarities between the two families you visited?
Absolutely. Boys in particular, especially middle school boys, are the most unorganized human beings you're ever going to meet. In fact, you have to remind them to wash their behinds. I mean, you got to actually check with them. Did you wash? And you then think about it. I don't know if I washed. Because that's just what boys do. And what happens is some of that is just boy. But when mom is in charge, and in both cases you had a single mom who was in charge, and no disrespect to the dad in this situation, but you had a mom who was in charge of the other family, meaning the leaders. When moms are in charge and the boys are second, moms tend to spend a lot of time struggling with how to discipline boys because moms love their boys to death, but they don't always know how to lay the hammer down on them when they need to.